At this time of year, in cultures across the world, people recognize the changing seasons, the dying summer, the final harvests, and also set aside time to honor, remember, and celebrate those who have gone before. That is our purpose here today. This altar is a place where we can gather our ancestors in sacred memory, whether those ancestors were biologically responsible for us or whether they are spiritual ancestors who helped shape us into the people we are today. Later in the service, if you haven't done so already, we will invite anyone so inclined to bring up a memento of a chosen ancestor, speak their name, and place it on the altar. If you didn't bring a memento along, Rebecca has grown and dried marigolds that can represent anyone of your choosing. What is remembered lives. Let us now enter into a spirit of reverence and mirth for our worship together today. Peter?
Thank you. The opportunity to play my only pagan song is irresistible. It's called Magic in the Ocean. There is magic in the ocean, heaven in the hill. Though our common sense keep us from it still, we sleep to find it in our dreams and wake to have the will for magic in the ocean and heaven in the hill. When I do not see the rain, I know my head is hung. Every day has got some rain like a teardrop on the sun. I ain't looking for good weather, looking for a thrill. Just magic in the ocean, heaven in the hill. And when I can unfold myself, I set my hungry soul to sail along on every breeze, effortlessly go. Then it returns to my body, strengthened and fulfilled with magic from the ocean and heaven from the hill. There's magic in the ocean, heaven in the hill. Even though our common sense keep us from them, still we sleep to find them in our dreams. We wake to find the will for magic in the ocean, heaven in the hill. So let me offer up a prayer for everyone to hear. Let not one of us, through ignorance or fear, be the child who's forgotten how the powers can heal you. The magic from the ocean, the heaven from the hill. There's magic in the ocean, heaven in the hill. Even though our common sense keep us from them, still we sleep to find them in our dreams. We wake to find the will for magic in the ocean, in heaven, in the hill.
Thank you so much, Peter. Our opening words this morning are by Sarah Getty McNeil. Come in from the crisp morning air outside. Come in, wearing the autumn sunlight on your face. Come, carrying the turning of the seasons in your heart. Whatever and however the greatness of life is speaking to you now, you are welcome here in our circle of friends. Please rise in body or spirit and join us as we sing together hymn number 188 in the Gray Hymnal, Come, Come, Whoever You Are.
Today, Sam will light our chalice and invoke spirit with the words of Florence Caplow. We kindle this flame, honoring the doorways in our souls, the windows through which we gaze at one another, the balconies where we catch glimpses of sky, the thresholds we stand on this morning, wondering, hoping, fearing, dreaming. Our chalice lit and spirit invited to join us here and now, we ask you to follow along with this responsive reading. Please respond with the italicized text.
Good morning. This reading is called This Sacred Thread by Heather K. Janulis. They once dwelled among us, the people of memory.
They who knew us, they who taught us, they who heard us, they who loved us.
They touch our lives time and again, through their presence and their absence.
Through familiar scents and favorite songs, through old stories and renewed sorrows.
As the earth turns and leaves fall, we reach back to renew the bonds between us.
With hearts and hands open, we hold on to love ever stronger than death.
We reach back in gratitude and understanding, for without our time together, the pain and the joy,
we would never be who we are today. We would have little to pass on ourselves.
without fear, with thanksgiving, and with hope for all that awaits.
We remember those who have gone before. We honor the circle of life and death, and our place within the sacred thread.
Thank you for being so gracious. As we reach the end of our 2026 pledge drive, we have one last member testimonial to offer you and hopefully persuade you to help keep this congregation active for years to come. Please allow me to introduce you to Bill Bridwell, a very active and very persuasive member to make the case. Bill.
Okay, that was it. Good morning, everyone. As you know, my name is Bill Bridwell, and I'm here today to give a testimonial as to why I donate to the UUSMV. I find it difficult to follow behind the previous three testimonials as they were delivered so eloquently and had many wonderful appeals to giving from our hearts and our pockets, but I will endeavor to follow those with my own humble appeal. I was brought up in a Methodist family. My sister and I would trail along with our parents every Sunday to church, where my parents would leave us with our Sunday school teachers, and we would be taught the stories of the Bible. I enjoyed the stories as they were like fairy tales to me. The miracles that Jesus performed, Moses parting the Red Sea, Lazarus rising from the dead. I also enjoyed the big services they had on Easter and Christmas Eve, which always took place at 10:30 at night. As I grew into my tweens, I started to grumble about having to go to church, so my parents gave up on trying to get me to go. Though I would still attend the Christmas Eve service because it was cool. I love the pomp and circumstance. I really didn't see why I needed to attend anyway, because my parents were going and they could save the family. So, 6 years ago, I was not what you would have called an advocate for going to church. I carried my beliefs close to my chest, and I didn't see any need to have someone tell me what was the truth. I have known Liz Laux for years now, and she would occasionally mention that she was going to UU service on Sunday, and I would ask her if they prayed to God and all that. She would tell me that it wasn't like that, but I was still skeptical. I finally started to attend because my wife, Betsy, was looking for a place to go for her beliefs. And while she is still searching, I believe I have found mine. Here in this beautiful old chapel is a place where I feel everyone is welcome, no matter what your spiritual beliefs are, as indicated by the woodcuts around the chapel. The service is an eclectic mix of themes and people who speak. They are always interesting and thought-provoking. This is a place that nourishes my spirit and allows me to be the person that I am. Each Sunday, as I greet people at the door, I feel nourished by the human need to be part of a family. The smiles and hugs that are given freely help me to feel loved and needed. I hope that everyone feels the spirit that is in this building and the people in it. And most of all, I want you to know how much I appreciate you all. In conclusion, I would like to say the existence of this church is not guaranteed. We need to give what we can, both financially and in person, to make sure that this beautiful old building and these wonderful people are able to carry on. So please give as generously as you can. Thank you for listening.
You lived up to it, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. That was excellent. We're going to keep on the financial theme for just another moment. This beloved community cannot exist without the generous gifts of our members and friends, and those gifts come in all sizes and shapes and forms, and hopefully amounts. At this time in our service, we ask that if you are able to make a contribution in the form of treasure, rather than time or talent, though we appreciate those too, you do so as the plate is passed. And if you are a guest here today, please let the plate pass you by. Your fellowship with us here today is gift enough.
Thank you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the altar that you see in front of you. This is a typical modern pagan altar in that it is an assemblage of things that were around us at this unique time and place, and things that have meaning to the three of us who assembled it. Every item on there has a story and has some symbolism for us. Some of the things are particular to our purpose today, honoring the ancestors. But one thing that we almost always do is have representations of the four elements when we do ritual work. The associations that I'm going to tell you now are the ones that we use, but there are others. You can rearrange the directions and colors and things differently, and all of those are correct. There's not one right way in our tradition. So to the east, we associate the element air, which is associated with the mind, with thoughts and words. And we often symbolize that with a feather. The element of fire to the south calls forth the passions and works through rapid transformation, digestion, and heat. To the west, water, the changeable element, represents dreams, memories, and emotions. This is water from Vineyard Haven Harbor that sat out in the moonlight. Earth is both the garden and the grave, embodied in animals, plants, and our physical selves. Together, the four elements encompass the universe, bringing all possibilities to the table. Thank you. There is, however, an essential fifth element in the center, spirit. This is what we bring to the altar: our will, our intention, and our attention. It is we who imbue these objects with meaning, and we who will interpret and utilize any understandings that come from this work. So, how should we direct our will? How should we feel when we approach an altar to honor the ancestors? Maybe kind of like visiting a cemetery. I was raised with Puritan values that required respect in the form of solemnity, hushed voices, the wearing of black clothing, and disruptive children were to be left at home. On the other end of the spectrum are the Day of the Dead celebrations, which respectfully keep the departed involved in the family, often through large, loud, and colorful celebrations in the cemetery in which everyone is included. These traditions, originating in South and Central America, are the source of the marigolds that you see on our altar. What respectful traditions have you inherited? What does respect mean for you when you think of the beloved dead in our past? Keep in mind that you can change or add to them if you wish. For now, though, let shifting thoughts and emotions be simply something to observe. Perhaps this will allow ancestral wisdom to rise to the surface and intuition to offer guidance. We will now bring some memories to lay on the altar, beginning with Nora, who will read a list of members of our UU community who have passed in the last year.
Jim Thomas, Ann Dietrich, Ann Charnley, Sally Williams, Nancy Wood, Diane Jetmond, Myra Stark.
And our former CUUPS dragon, Jim Sullivan. We encourage you to come forward and speak a name or silently honor your entire line if that is what you wish. You can place something on the altar or grab a marigold out of the basket.
Josephina Moscow Kopak, my grandmother.
Beryl Sheldon, my mother, who inspires me daily.
I just want to put a marigold to honor a lot of my friends in Haiti who are struggling and have passed away over the last couple of years. So.
Ken Beebe and my daughter Karen Beebe.
My father, John English, and my dog, Lily, who passed over last Sunday.
Hugh Chronister, my father. Anna and Charles Benjock, my grandparents. Margaret Chronister, my mother. And I have this earring that I'm going to take out that belonged to our beloved Barb Cassow.
Hi, this is for my father, Vern Donald Swanson. My mother's rolling pin that is now so well used by my wonderful husband, Bill. Her name was Muriel Truthson.
A photograph of my father and me at my practice wedding. Sorry. Okay.
Mary Sankey, my mother, it's the last thing she bought for me.
Hi, this is a picture of my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, but Jessie Scudder, but it really represents a line of very strong women in my life who had a very good influence on me.
My grandmother, Teresa Cobb, always hated her name, but I loved her life. 4 girls, and if you take a look at this picture, you'll see how much love was there. I'm the littlest one. We're on the top of Mount Tom with a family picnic. And this is Ida Streeter, my grandmother, who sent me off to my travels in Europe and living on a kibbutz, etc., and wanting to know when I came back, is the world a good place? And I told her, yes. And every Christmas she gave me a book that she had already read about strong women.
These are my grandparents, Marie and Adam Bauer, on their wedding day in 1942. And this is my grandma's wedding ring right in the corner.
This is a rock. My mother used to paint, used to draw faces on rocks. And this is one of her rocks. My mother's name was Bedeau Abbott. And this is a Kachina doll that my father had. He moved to Santa Barbara in his last years until he got really sick and he came to live with me. Dr. Frank Abbott.
It's my grandmother, Jean Carmel.
This is my maternal grandmother, Natalie Fern Mason. She has the tiniest little waist, which I didn't. She was married to Morton Leslie Davison, whom I never knew, but he has been a very great presence in our family. And my paternal grandparents, Emily Jane Moon and T. Louis Spillman, and they gave me, among other things, a love of travel.
I have 2 people I want to honor. The first one is my great Aunt Marie, who pretty much raised me, and I'm going to put her ring on me. And the other is my husband Tad, who, because I knew him, I have been changed for good. And I'd like to I never take this off, but I'm going to put it on here for a short time. This is his ring.
I forgot to go down the basement and get the picture I was supposed to get. But I want to honor my father, Russ Brown. He was a funeral director, and in that regard, we often talked about funerals and people who had died and gone on, even at the dinner table. But he was very steeped in the little town we grew up in, and we honored the ancestors of those who came to be served by our family.
I'd like to mention my birth mother, Margaret Cooper Eustis, whose name alone gives me the willies. She had the most remarkably strange life of anyone I've ever met, and all of her children were ill-affected.
bring anything, but I really want to honor my parents, Tom and Trudy Robinson Cox. And I want to say to all of you that this service was probably Barb Casso's favorite service that we do. It meant so much to her, and I'm so happy to honor her name today. I loved her so much, and I miss her.
I'll do this one first because the next one's going to be really hard. These are bracelets that I wear all the time. So this is wampum made by Giles. He's a Wampanoag. And I love it because these are the actual beads that they would have used for trading. And I never, ever, ever, ever leave the vineyard without wampum. I wear it for respect and, for Nuepe and the Wampanoag tribe. Even when I lived off island, I always had it on me, or I, at the very least, had a piece in my car and a piece in my pocketbook. So it's always with me, even living off island for, 16 years. So that's for our real ancestors here. And then this bracelet says, receiving the gifts of my ancestors. I wear this all the time. It makes me really feel like I'm reminded of them all the time, but I think the one that I really think about every single day and miss the most is my father, John Parkinson. Put it on the pomegranate.
I can't get it off because the clasp is too small. I'm sure you know that problem. But this stone was my engagement ring. Sorry, this stone was my engagement ring, which was passed down from my husband's mother. My husband was John Walter. He died, John Wesley Walter, he would want you to know. He died 17 years ago, and I had the stone removed, and the side of the necklace says, always.
I just want to honor my grandparents and my parents, and my token is my wedding ring, which belonged to my father, and my wife Betsy wears my mom's wedding ring. We both had them sized, and we wear them all the time. So, and I would put it up there, but for some reason I can't get it off my finger, and I don't know if that was done on purpose or not. But, and also I would like to, I seem to be working for Ilona Mattel today. She would like to honor her mom's best friend and her second mom, which is Barbara Mayseal.
An excellent segue. Is there anyone else on Zoom who would like to? There's one more in the chapel. I'm sorry, hold on.
This is, I don't have anything with me, I wasn't prepared, but this is for Jean and Bill Nickel, my grandparents, who passed a while back, and I love very much, and for my uncle, Nigel, who passed recently, and my friend Willie, who passed a couple of years ago, and all of the animals that have taught me so much about loving. Matilda, Ella, and Tiger and Anna are the ones that come to mind. Horses, ferrets, and dogs.
Thank you, virtual participants, for your patience. Is there anyone else who would like to name an ancestor of who's on your mind right now?
I have a picture here. It's my mother had 7 sisters, and they lost their father early, and they were the most amazing. My aunts were the most amazing people in my lives, independent, careers. They were strong models for me. So I just want to remember them all today.
Anyone else on Zoom who would like to name an ancestor?
We are grateful to them all, named and unnamed. Ursula, if she were able to be here, would possibly remind us that 2/3 of our history as human beings were spent in Africa before we dispersed over the rest of the planet. So I'd like to end by thanking the African ancestors that we all share. And now, as we began by invoking the elements, we will close by thanking and releasing them to accompany us as we disperse. We carry their gifts. Grateful to the air element with every breath, we resolve to think and speak with clarity. Honoring the sacred spark within, we work to ensure that cook fires outlast the fires of war. Gratitude overflows for the water element. Help us adapt and change with the inevitability of tides. And we send appreciation to our roots in earth, which allow us to reach for the sky and which feed us every day. I'm going to end with hopeful words from activist Rashida Phillips from their new book, Dismantling the Master's Clock. Embracing a quantum-informed view of time extends to the very ways we perceive and interact with the world around us. By shifting our understanding of time from a deterministic to a participatory framework, we open possibilities for liberation from the conventional constraints imposed by a linear perception of time." End quote. For me, this helps explain why the work we do with our ancestors and our histories has such profound implications for our futures. Here's Rashida again. We are called to imagine a future where liberation is not only possible, but is crafted with instruments of our own making. This future demands self-definition, creativity, and resistance in the face of systemic injustices. End quote. I believe this is the future our ancestors and ourselves are called to co-create. And I ask their help and guidance in this endeavor. I invite you to do the same. So mote it be, and blessed be.
Rainbows, whether they are visions or illusions, are deeply meaningful in many cultures, often representing a bridge between worlds or promises made. We invite you now, in the spirit of mirthful reverence, to sing along with a spiritual tune made famous by Kermit the Frog. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing The Rainbow Connection as our closing hymn.
A little rubato introduction before we get to the groove.
There's so many.
I wasn't there.
Oh, sorry.
Why don't we get to it? Sorry. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? What's on the other side?
Rainbows are visions, they're only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what we've done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? What do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. And as we merrily part today, we offer the words of Leah Derland Jones as a blessing. For those who came before us, we offer gratitude and thanks. May their memories be a blessing. May we feel surrounded by their love. As we go forth from this time and place, let us be inspired by their courage, their wisdom, and their dreams. Let us honor them by doing the work of living boldly, loving mightily, and creating heaven on earth. Amen, and blessed be.